social media, internet sleuths shared his information, trying to learn his identity.
One final puzzle that was waiting to be solved is still waiting. Find me.
From weird photos to creepy videos, there's always something on the internet that leaves us with more questions than answers. But because of the hard work of thousands of online detectives, many of these internet mysteries have finally been solved, and some of these truths are crazier than anyone imagined. These are internet mysteries that were finally solved, ranked from the least to the most shocking. I'm visualventure, and you are awesome. The mystery of the Post-it notes. On April 15th, 2015, a man with the username R. Bradbury felt like he was losing his mind. That morning, he found a strange post-it note in his apartment. The note had a list of chores he was supposed to do. But here's the creepy part. He didn't write it. The handwriting wasn't his, and he lived alone, so he had no idea how it got there. He tried to brush it off, but a few days later, things got even creepier. On April 19th, he found another note, this time stuck to the back of his chair. The note read, "Save your documents." That's when he started to get worried. He was convinced that someone was breaking into his house and leaving these notes for him. To catch the intruder, he set up a webcam to monitor his desk. If anyone was coming in and leaving notes, the camera would catch them in the act. Days later, he woke up to another post-it note. This one scared him even more.
On the 28th, 9 days later, I woke up to find another post-it note. This one saying, "Our landlord isn't letting me talk to you, but it's important we do."
R. Bradbury rushed to check the webcam footage, hoping for answers. But when he opened the computer, his heart sank. The footage was wiped from his computer. At this point, he started to fear for his safety. A few days later, the post-it notes started showing up again. They were plastered on almost every door of his apartment, but this time they were all blank. Determined to solve the mystery, he started to make a list of suspects. The first on his list was his landlord. He found an old letter from his landlord and compared the writing to the post-it notes. They looked pretty similar. R. Bradbury wondered if he could press charges against his landlord for breaking in and leaving notes. So he turned to Reddit hoping to get some advice. On May 15th, 2015, R. Bradbury posted a question on the r/legal advice subreddit, which is a place where people go to ask for legal help. His situation instantly grabbed everyone's attention. In his post, R. Bradbury explained everything that happened so far. He ended by asking what he could do legally if his landlord was leaving those notes. Maybe he could press charges or even sue his landlord, but instead of taking him seriously, most people thought he was making it up. Still, his post blew up. People became obsessed with the mystery of the post-it notes. Most Reddit users thought he was sleepwalking and writing the notes himself without realizing it. They suggested he set up another camera to find out, but setting up another camera didn't seem like a good idea to him since his first webcam footage got wiped. Redditors combed through R. Bradbury's other posts to learn more about his situation. That's when a Reddit user named Kakerlak spotted something important. In a post on another subreddit, R. Bradbury mentioned that he slept in a narrow, windowless bedroom. This small detail helped Kakerlak put the pieces together, and the real answer was a matter of life and death. When Kakerlak noticed that R. Bradbury slept in a small windowless room, he had a hunch. The problem could have been carbon monoxide poisoning. A room with good ventilation allows carbon monoxide to escape outdoors, but in a poorly ventilated space like Bradbury's windowless bedroom, the gas has nowhere to go, creating a dangerous buildup of carbon monoxide. Breathing in too much carbon monoxide replaces the oxygen in the blood, causing symptoms like headaches, confusion, and memory loss. In severe cases, it can be fatal. Kakerlak asked Bradbury, "Do you get bad headaches?" R. Bradbury admitted that he did. Then Kakerlak shared his theory. It might be carbon monoxide poisoning. If he was right, R. Bradbury was writing the notes to himself, but the gas was messing with his memory, making him forget that he ever wrote them. Kakerlak's suggestion got a ton of likes and comments. With so many people agreeing that carbon monoxide could be the issue, R. Bradbury decided to install a carbon monoxide detector. The moment he turned it on, the alarm went off. His apartment had a buildup of carbon monoxide that was poisoning him for weeks. But there was still one question that needed to be answered. If no one was breaking in to leave the notes, who deleted the footage from the webcam he set up weeks earlier? When R. Bradbury checked the webcam again, he realized it was malfunctioning. There was a compatibility issue with the software, which meant the recordings weren't syncing to his computer. In other words, no one deleted his webcam footage, it simply never existed. What about the handwriting that looked like his landlord's? After taking a closer look, he realized that he made a mistake. He compared the handwriting on the post-it notes to a letter from his mother, not his landlord. The connection between the landlord and the notes was all in his head. R. Bradbury went back to Reddit and explained all the mistakes he made made, effectively closing the case. The internet didn't just solve the mystery of the post-it notes, it saved R. Bradbury's life. This next mystery also involved a man who looked like he was in trouble, and the internet went on a hunt to solve the case. The blank room soup mystery. Have you ever watched something that was both confusing and unsettling at the same time? That's how many people felt when they first saw a video called Blank Room Soup in 2014. In the 1-minute and 40-second clip, a man cries while eating a bowl of soup. Standing silently beside him are two people in bizarre costumes, gently patting his back as if trying to comfort him. Nothing in the video made sense, and viewers were desperate to solve this mystery. They had 3 questions. Who was that man? Why was he crying? And who are the people in those strange costumes? As soon as blankroomsoup.avi went viral, internet users tried to explain the bizarre scene. Reddit forums, YouTube comments, and Discord chats exploded with ideas. Some thought it was an art piece, while others imagined something more sinister.
The original story behind the Blank Room Soup videos was that the man eating soup was actually abducted by the 2 men in black, as was his wife.
But people weren't satisfied with wild theories. They wanted real answers. Then there was a breakthrough. Someone figured out who made the costumes in the video. On October 16th, 2015, a YouTuber called Rainbot discovered 2 things about the costumes in blankroomsoup.avi. First, the costumes were created by an artist named Raymond Percy. Second, the costumes were called Ray Rays.
First thing that I found was a Daily Motion account called Ray Ray TV. This account had several videos with 2 characters that you see in Blank Room Soup. I looked into other videos on the Daily Motion account and did some research on the given names. After looking for a little bit, a Raymond Percy came up.
Rainbot decided to contact Raymond Percy to get to the bottom of the mystery. After all, Raymond created and owned the costumes, so we might know who was behind the video. When Raymond replied, his story only made things more confusing. Raymond Percy acknowledged that he created the Ray Ray costumes, but he said he had nothing to do with the Blank Room Soup video. In fact, he claimed he didn't even have the Ray Ray costumes anymore because they were stolen after he performed in LA.
When my group went back to the RV to pack our stuff and to get some food, we found that most of our Ray Ray props and costumes had been stolen.
But that wasn't the end of Raymond's story. He explained that shortly after the costumes were stolen, he received a video from an unknown email address.
A few weeks later, I got home from work, turned on my computer, and saw an email with an attachment. It was the video that everyone is now calling Blank Room Soup.
Everyone was disappointed that talking to Raymond Percy was a dead end. Since they didn't know who stole the costumes, they would never know who made the video. But when all hope seemed lost, people realized that Raymond's story had holes in it. At first, Percy's story seemed to explain everything. The costumes were stolen and someone else probably made the video. But some things didn't add up. For example, Raymond Percy uploaded the blankroomsoup.avi to one of his social media accounts under the title Soup Torture. When asked why he had the video on his social media, Raymond Percy said he thought the video was interesting and decided to share it. But if someone stole the Ray Ray costumes, made a creepy video with them, and emailed it to Percy, why would he just upload the video like it was no big deal? The internet decided to go one step further in this investigation by looking through the Los Angeles County police records. Turns out, Raymond Percy never filed a police report for his missing costumes. It was strange that he didn't ask the police to help catch the thief. The more people thought about it, the more suspicious they became of Raymond Percy. They wondered if he made the Blank Room Soup video himself. Some even thought the video was a marketing stunt to make the Ray Ray costumes go viral. If that was the plan, it certainly succeeded. Blankroomsoup.avi racked up over 16 million views on YouTube. After Rainbot's investigation, the Ray Rays disappeared. No new Blank Room Soup videos were ever released. Raymond Percy never admitted to making the video, but the internet is convinced he was behind it. Case closed. Our next mystery is about a man who said something so bizarre, the internet came together to figure out if he was telling the truth. The mystery of the time traveler. In the early 2000s, someone named John Teeter made a wild claim. He said he could travel through time and even showed pictures of his time machine to prove it. It sounds ridiculous, but John was so convincing to other people that he made them wonder, could John really be from the future? The internet was determined to solve this mystery. John Teeter revealed himself to the world on November 2nd, 2000. He posted a message in a chat room called the Time Travel Institute, a place where people discuss time travel theories.
Greetings. I am a time traveler from the year 2036. I am on my way home after getting an IBM 5100 computer system from the year 1975. My time machine is a stationary mass, temporal displacement unit manufactured by General Electric.
John Titor explained that he was sent back to 1975 to retrieve an IBM 5100 computer. Apparently, a dangerous computer glitch was destroying the world in 2036, and this old BMI computer was the only thing that could fix the problem and save the future. But if John Titor was on a mission to save the world, why was he spending his time on online chat rooms in the year 2000? John claimed he was just making a quick stop to check out what his family was like in the year 2000. Then John started making terrifying predictions about the future. Between 2000 and 2001, John Titor made dozens of posts explaining what would happen in the coming years. He said a civil war would break out in the US before the 2004 presidential election. He also predicted that in 2008, the US would collapse completely, and by 2015, World War III would begin.
In 2015, Russia launched a nuclear strike against the major cities in the United States, China, and Europe. The United States counterattacks. The U.S. cities were destroyed along with the American federal empire. Thus we, in the country, won.
Even though John Titor was making all these predictions, no one knew what he actually looked like. He was just a name on the internet. At first, people thought he was just a prankster, but when they began to doubt him, he supported his claims with supposed scientific facts. For instance, John Titor's posts were filled with advanced concepts about quantum physics. He even explained how he was able to travel through time.
One of the first pieces of evidence he provided were pictures of his time machine, along with the manuals to go along with it.
John didn't only share photos of his time machine. He broke down how every single piece worked and what each piece did. John's detailed stories and scientific explanations convinced thousands that he was a time traveler. The name John Titor became a global sensation. Characters named John Titor appeared in animes like Steins Gate and games like Reverse 1999. Soon he wasn't just a time traveler, he was a celebrity. John had fans who begged him to show his real face. Then at the peak of his fame, something happened that made everyone suspect John was a fraud. Remember, one of the things John Titor predicted was that there would be a civil war in the US before the 2004 election. But when 2004 passed without any conflict, people began to wonder if John was just making things up. As doubts grew, people went back to re-examine all his other posts. And this time, they found a ton of problems. John's posts contained a bunch of scientific theories that sounded legit to the average person. However, when real scientists examined them, they realized that many of his concepts didn't hold up scientifically. It was just gibberish. When John talked about his time machine, he gave just enough details to sound impressive, but never actually explained how the machine traveled through time. Remember, John Titor was also talking about the IBM 5100, claiming this old school computer was the key to saving the future. But computer experts on Reddit debunked that idea. They said the IBM 5100 wasn't powerful enough to do everything John said it could. Almost everything John Titor ever said was being debunked. There was one last question. If John Titor wasn't a time traveler, who was he? Since the mystery made such big waves online, it caught the attention of major TV studios in Italy. They decided to produce a documentary on the mystery titled Voyager. The studio hired a private investigator to uncover who John Titor really was. Following clues from the internet, the investigator tracked Titor's posts to an IP address in Kissimmee, Florida. That's where things got interesting. It turned out there was a company called the John Titor Foundation, which had its headquarters in the same city. Another internet investigator, John Houston, posted a lengthy expose of John Titor on his blog Hoax Hunter. He accused a man named Larry Haber for being behind the John Titor story. Larry Haber was an internet lawyer and, according to rumors, the CEO of the John Titor Foundation. Digging deeper, the private investigator discovered that Larry had a brother, John Rick Haber, who was a computer scientist. This new information opened up a door to a whole new theory, that John Titor was a fictional character created by Larry and John Rick Haber. With Larry's experience in entertainment and John Rick's knowledge of scientific theories, they seemed like the perfect team to create a convincing time traveler character. Finally, in 2018, the truth came out. But it had nothing to do with the brothers. Joseph Matheny, a multimedia artist, stepped forward to reveal that John Titor was just a fictional character. He explained that he previously worked as a consultant for the unnamed individuals responsible for the legend. According to Matheny, the whole John Titor thing was a gimmick created to promote an alternate reality game that was being developed at the time. The idea was simple: get people hooked on a mysterious story, then lead them into the game. But things didn't go as planned. The game was scrapped before it could launch. But by then, the story of John Titor accidentally became an internet legend. No one knows for sure if he was telling the truth, but so far, that seems to be the most likely explanation. Our next mystery also deals with something beyond the ordinary, something supernatural. The mystery of the backrooms. In May 2019, this picture was posted on 4chan and people couldn't stop talking about it. The image showed a dimly lit room with yellowing wallpaper and fluorescent lights. Yet something about the photo felt off. Some said it was nostalgic, while others found it oddly comforting. But there was one question on everyone's mind: where was this room from? The search for the room's origin turned into a mystery that lasted for years. The picture of this mysterious room spread throughout the internet and soon it was given a name: the backrooms. People said it was a strange dimension you might glitch into if you slipped out of reality.
Has this like dingy 90s looking feel to it. Now this is kind of what I imagine the hellish, the worst of retirement homes is probably what this will look like. You can almost hear the hum going on here, right?
The concept of the backrooms grew into an entire fictional universe. Fans created stories, levels, and monsters for the backrooms. They assigned each backroom a level. The original photo became level 0. The backrooms even inspired a game and a movie. But despite all the creativity, one real question remained: where was the original photo from? As the backrooms became more popular, internet users were obsessed with finding the real-life location of the original image, now called level 0. Theories poured in. Some thought it was an abandoned office. Others suggested a defunct department store. People found places that looked similar to level 0, but none were an exact match.
The closest to level 0. This is what the real backrooms looked like. This is what the location I found looked like. It isn't completely similar, but how is this real? The backrooms are real. It literally looks like a green screen right now.
It seemed like the mystery would never be solved. Then, one Twitter post led to a breakthrough. In May 2019, someone tweeted that they found the location of the infamous level 0 backroom. They even posted a link to prove it. The link led to a website of an American retail company called Hobbytown. One picture on the website matched the backroom's image exactly. This picture. This was it. The backroom level 0 was a Hobbytown store in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. This meant the mystery was solved, right? Well, unfortunately, nobody paid attention to this tweet. It got buried under new posts and people continued searching for the location, not knowing it was already found. Then, 5 years later, in 2024, a group of internet detectives came up with a new strategy. They decided to track down the original backroom's image by its file name. They found an old 4chan thread with the photo and noticed the file name. Using that file name, they searched archived forums and social media until they stumbled upon the tweet with the link. They clicked the link and there it was, the backroom level 0. The creepy room wasn't a doorway to another dimension. It was just an old, forgotten Hobbytown store. The news spread online that the mysterious level 0 was found, but anyone hoping to visit the location would be disappointed. Years earlier, the room was renovated into an RC car racetrack. This next mystery started as a fun game, but over time it became an obsession for thousands of people around the world. The mystery of Satoshi. Can you find someone if all you had was their picture and their first name? That's a mystery that took 14 years to solve. In 2005, a British game company launched a unique game called Perplex City. It came with 256 puzzle cards, each card containing a different challenge for players to solve. But the last card in the deck, numbered 256, was unlike any other. This card showed a photo of a man and a Japanese phrase that translated to "find me." Beneath it was a single clue. My name is Satoshi. With nothing more than a name and a face, players were supposed to track this man down. What started as a simple puzzle turned into an obsession for thousands of people online. The Satoshi card was called Billion to One because players needed to find one person out of a billion on the planet. It wasn't going to be easy.
One final puzzle that was waiting to be solved is still waiting. 1 billion to 1. Find me.
In the first months of the hunt for Satoshi, the online community managed to uncover 3 facts about the mysterious man. Satoshi agreed to be part of the game. He wasn't some random person, he was in on it. Satoshi also wouldn't respond unless contacted directly. Even if he saw the forums or websites, he would stay silent. Lastly, Satoshi had a secret password given to him by the game developers, and he would reveal it to whoever found him. These clues only deepened the mystery, making the hunt even more exciting. Before long, the search for Satoshi exploded beyond the game, pulling people in from all over the internet. To keep track of the investigation, Reddit communities like r/findsatoshi were created to compile clues. One of the first things people did was reverse searching Satoshi's photo online, but nothing turned up. This was back in 2005, so the internet wasn't as advanced as it is today. Others focused on the background of his picture. They figured out the background was Kaysersberg, a small town in France. Players flew out to Kaysersberg thinking there would be a clue there, but it was just a dead end. Internet users reached out to anyone who even remotely resembled Satoshi. Hundreds of potential leads were contacted, yet none matched the man in the photo. For 13 years, no one knew who Satoshi really was, and many gave up. Then, one YouTuber picked up the case and came one step closer to solving it. In February 2020, the YouTube channel Inside a Mind posted a video called Find This Man, diving into the mystery of Satoshi. The video exploded in popularity, racking up over 1 million views. But more importantly, it revived the search for Satoshi, introducing the puzzle to a new generation of internet users. With new tools like advanced facial recognition software and social media platforms, the hunt was back on. Thousands of people scoured the web for any trace of Satoshi. Then, in late 2020, the breakthrough everyone was waiting for was finally here. On December 26th, 2020, 10 months after Inside a Mind's viral video, a Reddit user posted on the Find Satoshi subreddit. The title read, "Found someone similar looking on a Japanese webpage." Using facial recognition technology, the Reddit user found someone who looked like Satoshi in a photo on a Japanese company's website. On the far right of the group photo was a man holding a beer, a man who looked exactly like Satoshi. Reddit users immediately dove deeper. Another photo of the same man appeared on the company's website, this time in a professional headshot. Users translated the webpage and discovered the man was an executive at a Japanese metal company. The community went into full investigation mode, comparing every detail of the two faces. They layered Satoshi's original photo over the executives, analyzing moles, beauty marks, and other facial features. The evidence lined up perfectly. This man was almost certainly Satoshi. After 15 years of searching, Laura Hall, the founder of the Find Satoshi website, finally contacted him, and this was his reply. "Hello, thank you for contacting me. You said you've been looking for the guy named Satoshi. I am Satoshi. Yes, I am Satoshi, who you've been looking for." Satoshi said that he completely forgotten about the game since it's been so long, and that he's just an ordinary guy that lives in Japan. He was shocked that people searched for him for 15 years, but felt good knowing his photo made an impact on thousands of people. This next mystery was also about a missing person, only this time the person everyone was searching for wasn't alive. The mystery of the nameless victim. On June 26, 1995, police in Southern Virginia responded to a car crash. 2 victims were found, but one was so badly injured he couldn't be identified. The identified man was labeled a John Doe, meaning authorities didn't know who he was and couldn't contact his family. But there was one clue about his identity. In his pocket, they found 2 tickets to a Grateful Dead concert. The Grateful Dead was an American rock band that was really popular in the 80s and 90s. Because of this, people nicknamed him Grateful Doe, combining the band's name with the term John Doe. For 20 years, Grateful Doe's identity remained a mystery. No leads, no answers, and no family came forward. The case went cold. Then the internet got involved and everything changed. On January 2nd, 2015, someone posted about Grateful Doe on the social media site Imager. The post contained everything the police knew about Grateful Doe. Most importantly, it asked the internet to help uncover his true identity. This post slowly began to spread across the internet. At first, all people talked about was the facial reconstruction pictures because the technology back then made the computer-generated face look kind of creepy. The post gained so much interest that it eventually turned into a community of its own. Facebook pages were made to look for him, and a subreddit called r/Grateful Doe began recruiting members.
On social media, internet sleuths shared his information, trying to learn his identity.
Then they got their first big lead. Just hours after the initial post went live, the poster received a message from someone claiming Grateful Doe was his college roommate from Illinois. This person said Grateful Doe's real name was Jason Callahan, a young man who went missing 20 years ago. He also mentioned Jason was a big Grateful Dead fan, just like the man in the crash.
Micah Singleton lives in Conway and recognized the pictures of Jason on Facebook. He says they used to hang out along Ocean Boulevard. He too hasn't seen him since 1993 or 94.
As the investigation continued, another friend of Jason's came forward with photographs. When Jason's photos were compared to Grateful Doe's face, the resemblance was striking. On January 10th, 2015, just 1 week after the Grateful Doe post started blowing up, Jason's mom came forward. She made a Facebook post confirming that the man in the photos was her long-lost son, Jason Callahan. She hadn't seen or heard from him since June 1995, the same time as the crash. After Jason's mom came forward, law enforcement collected DNA samples to match the remains of Grateful Doe. Finally, on December 8th, 2015, nearly 20 years after the car crash, DNA testing confirmed that Grateful Doe was indeed Jason Callahan. Solving the Grateful Doe mystery gave Jason's family and friends the closure they needed. Inspired by the success, the Grateful Doe subreddit shifted its focus to uncovering the identities of other missing people. As of 2024, they've identified dozens of people, bringing closure to families from all around the world. These stories show us how incredible the internet can be when people use it for good. It's honestly unfortunate that so many people use it to do terrible things. But my request for you is to always think about how your actions affect others online, because you might just change someone's life. And I hope it's for the better. Visual Venture. If you guys like this video, click here to watch my video on the most unsettling websites on the internet, because I think you guys might like that one too. Road to 1 million subscribers. Let's go. Love you guys. Peace.